Hello and welcome to a video of me playing DCS, specifically the Flaming Cliffs free module and the included F-15C. And I'm playing on a multiplayer server here, chasing down this guy who is also in an F-15, but he is on the opposite team. Now I got relatively close to him, but obviously we were both going full pelt at max speed at a range of like 7 to 8 nautical miles or whatever's on the screen right here. But, I was conscious of my fuel load and I was conscious of other aircraft around me, and he had been dragging me all the way up sky high in order to try and get away from me. And this is me just seeing where I am because I know where their air bases are, so I don't want to go over there. At this point I've already fired 4 missiles at him, and living up to their name, they have all missed. So I'm just chasing this guy down, and it lasts for a while, and I'm conscious of the fact I'm getting right into where effectively their spawn is, so their home airbase, where all their fighters take off. Now at this point I've lost my bore sight lock on him, because I think he's gone outside 10 nautical miles away from me, so I'm just working my radar to try and reacquire him via a traditional radar lock, using whatever mode happens when you press 2 on the keyboard. Again, trying the bore sight. I know roughly where he is in my HUD, so I'm just trying to lock him up that way, but it's not going to work. Now the little chirps you can hear, if you don't know about DCS, they're my radar warning receiver, so each chirp is like sometime I'm being painted by someone else's radar, and I should be aware of those, but I'm paying attention, kind of. Now on the radar, I keep seeing him blip up occasionally, so I'm manoeuvring my jet and working my radar to try and put my radar on him so that I can lock him back up and potentially see if he turns into me or fires any missiles back at me. But at the moment, I'm just working the radar, waiting for him to pop back up. There he is on the radar. I'm going to try and work it, but oh no, there he goes, he's dropped. So every time you get like the pronounced ping, or a continuous chirp like that, that is a radar lock from someone. Now that means he's probably turned into me while I lost luck with him and locked me, and that is a missile launch. So I'm just trying to duck away, pulling down, trying to go north because that is back towards my home base. But I'm jinking quite a bit to try and get away from missile. Now I can try and do the same thing he's done at the moment, or in the past, because I've been firing my missiles at him, and he's been going full pelt to get away from them. So he's just fired a shitload of missiles at me. That's probably my contrail from earlier. He's probably fired a crap ton of missiles at me. So I'm dispensing countermeasures. I'm out of flare at this point. But I've probably got a couple of F-15s firing missiles at me, and they will show on the radar warning receiver as M, because they will be radar guided missiles. So I'm conscious of my fuel load, but I'm going to book it all the way out of here, full afterburner, and there's me checking my radar warning receiver to see if I need to manoeuvre out the way of any missiles, but I just can't do it. So he's lost his radar lock, but I'm still wary of the missile, so I'm not going to slow down, at least not for a while yet. So I'm just going to keep going low level, but I'm conscious of the fact that I have a low fuel load at the moment. I ditched my drop tanks when I was up there because I noticed they were empty, so I didn't need them, and they were just going to slow me down. So I dropped my drop tanks, and now I'm going to climb back up to try and get some fuel efficiency out my bird, because the lower you fly, the more fuel your engine will burn to go like the same distance, same speed. So I'm just pulling myself up here. This is dubbed afterwards, by the way, if it wasn't obvious enough already. But what I didn't know is there are enemy aircraft, specifically all around me, because the enemy has been flying from their base towards our base, and I've been flying from my base towards their base, and I've delved so far in that there are now enemy aircraft ahead of me. So I'm just going to fly along the coast and try and get home to an airbase. Probably won't make it. And I've just spotted an enemy contact on my radar, and I'm like, where could he be? And I'm going to call out shortly, I'm going to call out on the chat to my team, asking for some help, to be honest, because I needed help because I didn't want to die. And I knew there were a lot of enemy aircraft around me, so at this point I was like, I can't cover this on my own. So I asked for another fighter to come out here, but in the end that didn't happen. Because I was taking the initiative to their base, but our actual target was elsewhere, which is probably where the majority of our fighter aircraft have gone. But anyway, I asked regardless. And that's another missile launch from an aircraft I was aware was there, but I'm just going to try and outrun it and turn a little bit to the left maybe, but as long as I keep my nose below the horizon I will pick up speed, and once the rocket motor on the missile runs out of fuel I will be accelerating away from it. So at this point I'm just trying my best to get away from it, and I'm still conscious of the fact that there is an aircraft off my nose somewhere, so I'm just pulling as hard as I can to get away from this missile, which I can see it's not really getting very far away from its launch aircraft. So I'm just seeing how if I've made any progress. So I'm going to climb up to get some altitude again for the fuel efficiency. Because if you look in the bottom right of my cockpit, you will see there's the fuel gauge, which is very quickly ticking down to 0. And I've managed to lock up the enemy aircraft here while I have a missile on my tail, like repeated missile launches on my tail, and I'm just launching at this guy because, you know, if I get rid of my missiles I'll go a little bit faster. So this is an enemy Su-27 I think, and there's also an enemy MiG-29 off my nose as per my radar warning receiver, so I'm being painted by him, and I think when I do see him, because I think I managed to see him as well, I think I see a missile coming towards me from him. So this is me. This is me with an AIM-9 Sidewinder trying to get close to this guy, but obviously he is also a very fast jet and he is booking it away from me with his afterburners on full, and obviously I'm not going to get close enough for a kill here. Conscious of the fact that my fuel is very low, so I can't afford to use afterburner for very long. So I eventually, once I follow this guy for a while, keeping an eye on my radar warning receiver of course, and my fuel level, because I'm making a decision here whether it's worth pushing him or trying to get back to base, because I don't really want to eject. And this is where I decide, no, not worth it, so I pull away, and there I've just lost him completely, lost radar lock, and turned off my sidewinders, trying to get away, and I'm conscious of the fact there's a MiG-29 on my nose-ish now. So I'm just trying to pull away, looking at getting closer to base. Not quite sure what it is, but that is a missile launch right off my nose. Oh, sorry, it's to my like 7 o'clock. But I think, okay, I'll just go full afterburner, try and outrun this one. I'd come off afterburner, and that is my fuel level, dipping below 1,000 pounds. I am not going to make it home. I just want to outrun this missile.
Bingo fuel.
That's my bingo fuel warning. I want to outrun.
Left engine fire.
And there we go. That's me being hit, and I take the time to eject at supersonic speed. So that probably ripped my helmet off and probably killed me. But yeah, that is how to be baited into being killed in a fighter jet over the Caucasus region. So well, yeah, the Caucasus. Don't do that. That is all. Thank you for watching. If you learned anything, like it. If you found it funny, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. Feel free to subscribe. Thank you. Goodbye.